Cynthia. Yes. Thank you for being on my show today. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you for having me. I feel very honored that you reached out.
Yes, yes. No, it's my pleasure. I'm really interested in the work that you're doing. Can you just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and your journey thus far?
Sure, you bet. So I work as an interfaith minister. So what does that mean, right? Some people aren't familiar with what that
Right,
means.
that's
So
right.
an interfaith minister, you go to school, and I studied holistic theology and went through an ordination program. And what I do with my ministry is I guest preach and I teach workshops and classes and book studies at various churches, mostly Christian churches because that's what my background is in. And I've just recently launched a online store called Spirit on the Spot. And so we make products for the spiritually aware, laser engraved, handcrafted things like magnets, coasters, display tiles, cork trivets, things like that to put in our house to remind us about the truth of our divinity.
Yes, yes, I love it. And that's how why I reached out to you, how I discovered you from seeing the marketing and stuff. And I just thought the products were so unique and so needed right now, especially in the new thought arena, so to speak. I know you do a lot of work, lots of your teachings and your studying has been like unity and centers for spiritual living and myself as a licensed religious science practitioner, I'm familiar, of course, with all of those teachings, and the products of the store just speak to that. And that's so we know that, thoughts are things and our subconscious and all this. And if the products just can help remind us on a daily basis, that is wonderful, I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a spiritual journey and it takes effort. And we're
Yes.
human and we forget. We're sort of designed with our egos to neglect our own divinity and the truth of who we are and what we can manifest for our lives. So I know I was needing reminders, so I thought I just bet people out there need these things too.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. So now, the show basically is about intuition, and of course, I think that that's a spiritual gift that we all have. And How would you describe intuition, or how has it shown up in your life?
You know, I hate to steal from the great Louise Hay, but she puts it so well when she calls it her inner ding.
Oh,
And
I love that.
and,
Yeah.
and in fact, I was just rereading one of her books the other day, and she was talking about, finding and using the science of mind and, paying attention to her thoughts and beliefs really resonated with her. And she could feel that this was worthwhile and this was life-changing. And, I feel like we all have that inner ding.
Yes,
you know, I,
yes.
I think it was Ernest Holmes who said something along the lines of intuition is, I believe he said, spirit recognizing itself, in our own expression of
Right,
it.
right,
And
right.
yeah,
It's
go
what it
ahead.
feels like, right?
Yes, absolutely. And for me, it's not just, it's like a spiritual guidance that can actually be felt in our body.
Yes.
And it's when we are waking up with an idea in our head that we just can't seem to let go, and when that we can tune into and
Yes.
learn to pay attention to. And I also am a big believer in that saying gut feeling, and
Oh,
how we do
yes.
feel it in our gut, good or bad. We get
Yes.
excited and get butterflies when we're sort of on the right path and we're meeting that special person or learning from someone special, or maybe this person is not the right thing for me. We're kind of feeling that stomach ache,
Yes.
and I love that our bodies, that's like a message for us.
Yes. Yes. And Cynthia, that was why that spirit spoke to me to do this show or this topic. And like some of the other shows, you know, will explore, you know, this is kind of like career, you know, with your store and all this, and just even your journey. But it could be relationships, health, career.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I just felt inspired to explore intuition. Basically because, you know, I had some really rough times in my life that could have been completely avoided. And I mean, completely avoided if I had listened to that ding, or to that feeling. Like you said, you can feel it in your body. I mean, you can feel it, you know. So I just feel so inspired. And your description, I would so agree with, because I now say and preach, I guess, that it's not about the mind or even the heart, and it's really the, like you said, the gut.
Right, right.
And that's where this is, I guess, the solar
Right.
plexus.
I actually had and I was seeing an acupuncture practitioner, and we were talking about, you know, anxiety and emotions, and she said, you know, that stuff is not in your head. She said it is in your gut, and I thought, you're right. You know, so we really had this great conversation about that. So
yeah, there's no doubting the mind body connection, and that spirit speaks to us through our bodies, like that feeling. And I like your point about, it could be intuition for, you know, whatever, $1 million idea, or it could be intuition about, don't associate with this person or whatever. You know, it could go either way, or just
right.
anything, you know. If you get inspired by intuition, you know, to take a road trip one day or whatever it is, like, it's like divinely inspired, but you feel it, you know. And I think sometimes it takes courage, because sometimes, like I was saying, like the mind or the heart, you might be like, no, you know. But when there's that nagging in the gut, I have found that now I have the courage. Like, it took me, you know, a lot of tragedy and misfortune to really just get that courage,
Yeah,
because
we doubt our intuition all
yes,
the time. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. And it almost, to me, it takes practice
it
of
takes
paying attention and so much trust.
so
And
much trust.
it's work. That's your part of your spiritual journey. And, you know, you mentioned sort of having low points in your life, and,
Yeah.
you know, and you asked how, you know, intuition has really shown up in my life.
Yes.
I had a very similar experience, you know, where I went through just a wretched divorce and a very low point in my life in every aspect. Relationships were a hot mess. Career, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
you know, and financially I was a mess. And just like, and I can remember it was during that time, I think I watched The Secret. I watched the movie first, and then I, you know, got a hold of the book, and then just started seeking out what I would call now New Thought authors. I didn't know what New Thought was at that time.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and it oddly sort of coincided with my interfaith journey too, with my studying that. So everything sort of just blended all together, but it really, I couldn't let those concepts and those ideas go. And I really think that was my intuition sort of leading me and guiding me to what I needed to learn to not only change my life, but to where I am and what I'm doing today.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Yeah, I often ask people, because I'm always interested, like, because, you know, where or how people learned about New Thought, you know. And sometimes The Secret gets a bad rap, but the truth is, it's an entryway for a lot of people.
Exactly.
And I think it was just in the collective consciousness at the time, because by coincidence, um, found Science of Mind right at the same time The Secret was out. I don't even remember which one I discovered first,
Right, right.
but it was really the book Thoughts Are Things by Ernest Holmes that started it. But I think there was something in the ethers where this was just, you know, people were just becoming aware. Because me too,
Right.
I had never had an inkling about that my thoughts were creative, or this energy, or I had any say in the matter, you know. Like, Do you know what I mean? And so
Absolutely.
it truly
Yeah.
was a miracle. So that's amazing. About right around the same time is when I found it too.
Right, right. And the funny thing is that I was so miserable, suddenly becoming a single mom and going through a divorce and, financially struggling. And I would think I was being funny and joking with my family and lay on the couch and go, "Oh, I hate my life," and that was like my silly saying that I would say all the time. And it taught me to stop doing that.
Right. You don't want to say that.
Yeah.
Then it brings in more to the hate.
Right.
The finances, the friends disappear. It's like a train wreck. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh. Yeah.
certainly life changing and put me on a
Yes.
great path.
Right. Right. And I think that going through that, and I've gone through similar things. I think a lot of people have either, whatever have, but that in itself is what gave me and has given me the courage to, like even in just steps or as things happen day to day, to follow the intuition, because I know what happens when I don't, and it's
Right.
just
Pay
not worth it,
attention to that. Right.
and it's just a miracle. So, that we have this capacity, and to be able to trust in it. And it takes time, but somehow everything always works out. Yeah,
Sure does.
yeah. So, I think I recall a prior conversation we had about that. Intuition did play a role in the online store that you have, and it's called Spirit on the Spot. And I'm going to encourage everybody to check it out. It's just so wonderful.
Thank you.
Um, it's just wonderful. Yeah. So how did intuition guide you in that endeavor?
Well, quite honestly, it was like an idea that I couldn't seem to let go of.
Mm.
And I've thought for a long time that this whole adventure is spirit led because I didn't go to school to run a business. I don't, maybe I shouldn't admit that, but
It's all
I don't
right.
have an MBA, and that's,
No,
I'm
it's
not a
all good.
marketing specialist, and I'm just sort of, the whole project is just morphing into what it is supposed to be. And
Mhm.
I'm just so open to it and enjoying it. And I just couldn't let go of the idea that we really do need reminders because of our natural human tendencies and, having our egos that are trying to protect us from this idea that we are really divinely made and that, the truth of who we are.
Right.
And even just like a simple spiritual practice, like I'm going to do affirmations. Well, okay.
Yeah.
It's a task and it's work. And to really be effective with it, you've got to do it multiple times per day. And for me, I wanted to see when I closed the refrigerator door, a magnet sitting there telling me, I am peace. God is peace, therefore I am peaceful. And I just
Yes.
needed to see those little things, or a coaster to put my coffee cup on, in the morning to remind me to be still and have my meditation moment. And I
I
needed
love
those
it.
things,
I
and
love
I really just knew that there was a market for this. I
it.
believe,
Yes.
anyway.
Yes. And that's why it was just seemed so unique to me. That's why I reached out to you. I just thought it was such a wonderful idea. And and it's just about just giving back too. I mean, like just, I enjoy your work. I believe in what you're doing. And so I put it out there, you know.
Thank you.
Yes, you're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's funny, when the first time that we chatted, you had called it an online store, and
Yes.
it really threw me. And I even said to you, "Wow, I don't even think of it like that." And of course it is. We sell things, and, and you can pay for things. That'd be fantastic. But I really think of the products much more as spiritual tools, and
Yes.
I
Yes.
really consider it just an offshoot of my ministry. There's
Yes.
a blog on the website with, I would consider them mini sermons, and just
Yes.
tales of my own spiritual practice and my own learning. And I just am not going to master the science of mind, probably in my lifetime, right?
Yeah.
It's a journey, and it's a learning, and it's a there's some days where it's like, wow, I really failed at that. Oops, I just had a fight with so-and-so, or something went on during the day. And it's just acknowledging my humanness, your humanness, that we're all one and in this together. So
right, yeah, because it's more than just a store or whatever. I mean, you have the blog on there, and it's just overall inspirational, I think. So it's really great work. Yeah. So I think we're almost out of time, but can you tell the viewers how they can connect with you, and your website, of the
sure.
store?
Right, you bet. So it's spiritonthespot.com. So that, like I said, there's a blog on there. We are on Facebook, so you can follow us on Facebook. You can sign up and get the blog sent to you. We're on Instagram. Of course, all my contact information, if anyone wants me to teach a workshop or a class or have me guest preach, happy to do that. My contact information is there. And hopefully we're hoping to get some videos up and sample audios as well. So right now I'm really just in launch mode still, and it's
Awesome.
it's a bit of a learning curve. I'm
Yes.
still learning a lot on social media marketing and having a class. I'm really learning who my audience is and how to serve them. And it's so exciting. Every person I meet and everyone who places an order is just happy. And it's good.
Yes.
Good connections.
Yes. That's amazing. So I'm so happy for you, and continued success, and just on your journey, and with Spirit on the Spot. It's wonderful. And thank you for being my guest. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the support.
Thank you. Namaste.
To you as well.